Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another podcast. I know it's been a while, but I'm very privileged to be able to introduce Christian Gravias. Thank you so much for coming on board, man.
Privilege, you make me blush. I'm privileged to be in your bloody presence.
No, man, don't say that. I've learnt a lot from Christian in my entire real estate career. He's been a mentor to me, and it's awesome to be able to have him on. Just a bit about him. He's Collings Real Estate. If you've heard of Collings Real Estate, it's a little company over in Northcote.
Correct.
Northcote. And what I really respect and look up to Christian about is how he's been able to grow the company. So you're also in Collings NFT, Collings Universe, which is really cool. So all the links for that is down below. It's got Style by Collings.
Yes.
It's another subset of Collings Real Estate.
Yes.
Which is really cool. And we also have Collings Sports.
Yeah, that's been put on the back burner.
Back burner?
Yeah, so just back burner, but it will be coming back in a very different way. But for now, yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're just
I'm excited for it. But either way, where do I start? First of all, I want to talk about your story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
And just so I give it a bit of a background to everyone listening, like where you started from. I know you weren't in real estate for your entire life, but most of it.
No, yeah, pretty much just to start off. So I finished school. Pretty much when I got my ATAR score, we went when you do the careers, you go and see the teacher, the selection, and they give you the nice big list. So I went in there and I had my 12 preferences, and we looked at my ATAR score of like 28 or 32, whatever it was, and number one was like valuations at Deakin, 84.
Yeah.
We didn't get that one.
Yep.
We didn't get number 2. We didn't get 3. We got number 12, which was Box Hill TAFE real estate, so that was brilliant. So jumped in there. At the time, I got a job at a deli, working out of deli. I got sacked after 2 weeks, so that was great. And then it was probably around March, April, somewhere there. And my dad, he was in the game, so he was in the game for a very long time. He'd left the industry, so he left in about 2008, and this was 2013. And my dad said, "Okay, do you want to get into real estate?" And I was like, "Oh, whatever." Like, I don't know.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, I was like, "Whatever." Yeah. I just finished school. Yeah, I didn't really care, but I'll give it a go. So I remember walking in that first day. It was like a time warp. Like he'd literally had his office exactly how it was when he'd left. The same computers were set up. Everything was kind of set up. So we got moving and grooving. For the first 3 years, I hated it, man. I didn't really do much. I used to sleep on the desk. I remember like the Euros and the World Cups. I'd just do
an
all-nighter and then be sleeping on the desk, feet up for a couple of hours, go get a coffee at a mate's shop and head home.
So you didn't take it seriously?
No, not at all. Not at all. And I remember Dad was just telling me, he's like, if you don't want to do this, like just shut it down. Let's move on. You're wasting your time. And I was like, whatever. We'll get there. We'll get there. And I don't know what it was. I was 19 at the time. Probably I was around 21 and a half. I remember the time of it. It was around that Jan to March 2016-ish, somewhere there, where something happened. I don't know. I just started watching things online or something really happened. Something clicked, man. I can't remember what it was, but something completely clicked that I turned around and was like, wow, like I'm starting to kind of enjoy myself here. I can kind of do something and we can kind of build from here. So I just started swinging and just started giving it a real hot crack, and 5.5 years on and haven't really looked back. It's been awesome, man. It's been pretty fun.
That is awesome. One question I got from that, and I know your dad's probably been a big role model in your life. What were you able to learn from your father? Like, did you ever look into what he was doing in real estate when you were younger?
Not really.
You weren't really involved in it back when you were younger?
Not really. And even at the time, like, it's like, I feel like my father placed me there. I think he kind of taught me a lot of the back end operations.
Right.
So like how to kind of run a business. That's what he kind of taught me a lot. In regards to going out and chasing business, not really. He did come at the start. He did come a lot to a lot of the appraisals. I remember this one time I got called in for a development of 7 apartments, and I remember I was like, Tommy, come along with me, let's go. he came, and I remember walking in, and like I was hiding behind him, like
Yeah,
I was
didn't
scared. I don't know, I was just scared.
Yeah, big opportunity.
Yeah, I was really scared, just hiding behind him. So I think I was extremely fortunate to have him there. Even in a sense, he would if we went into the presentation, say, "Oh, Christian, do this better." Right. So I'm not going to say they didn't kind of. No, he didn't help me with chasing the business, but he did.
Molded you.
He did mold me. Correct.
A few lessons here and there.
100%. 100%. He's been huge for me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's thank you for sharing that, because I know it's a lot bigger now than real estate. There's a lot more going on in your life in real estate other than real estate. Talk about the companies that you're starting to build and you're really passionate about, because I know you're very passionate about it. Every time we meet up with Raphael and stuff, you always go on a tangent, and I love it.
Yeah, I give you some wicked conspiracy theories. I give you a bit of everything.
100%. Because you don't get that a lot, man.
Yeah.
With a lot of people, you don't get that whole future mindset.
Yeah.
They're always in the present, and they don't really think ahead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's why I love speaking with you. But tell me about your companies. Which ones you're the most excited for?
Yeah. I think the one that I'm most excited for is the Collings universe.
Yeah.
Why the Collings universe is the most exciting? To give a bit of background on what it is, it's my own NFT project.
Okay.
So, and what it's going to be, it's literally a media and entertainment company that is going to build intellectual property. So, a way to maybe simplify what I'm trying to do is like think about Disney. Yes. Now, Disney is the company, and within Disney, they build Toy Story. They build hundreds of different animations. So the way I'm looking at it is like I want to build my own version of Disney. I've got like 8 or 9 different concepts that I'm starting to build. I'll be launching about 3 sets this year. So the first set is obviously going to be the Key Pass, which is going to allow access to people into my universe. I'm giving it away for free. And the reason why I'm doing that is I really want to onboard as many people as I can. And the way I'm looking at it is really what these NFTs are. It's a startup company, really, and it's a startup company that's gone public.
Right.
So I want to just provide as much value as I can, and there's going to be a lot of real world utility attached to it. Where, for example, let's just say someone's holding this and they're a plumber, and they turn around and say, you know what, like I want to do Collings plumbing. Because they're a partner to it, they're going to be able to do that.
Right.
What that also, the main thing that's going to allow them to do as well is that they're going to get 2 free mints to 2 future sets. So I'm currently building 2 future sets, which is one is I don't want to give anything away, but it's going to be to do with Doge. It's going to be like Doge characters. And then I'm going to be releasing a set in November. So, and the holders, they'll be able to mint those for free if they choose. They might not want to. They might want to hold it for future sets, but they'll be able to get that. And
that's awesome.
I just want to build it. As well, they'll be getting free NFT consultations. So once a month or once every couple of months, we'll do a session on Zoom where if anyone wants to do their own NFT set, they'll be able to jump on and they can help. So that's probably what I'm most passionate about, because I hope I can build Disney.
Why not, man? The sky's the limit.
The
sky's the limit.
So I hope I can, but regardless, even if I can build something 0.01% of what Disney is, and that's kind of what I'm aiming for. Collings NFT, it's a marketing agency. So I was always heading down like becoming a marketing agency, because I realized there was this point in. Do you remember I did the Marilyn Monroe video, 161 Monroe Street in Coburg, where I was doing property videos and I had fun. I used to love doing it. And at that time when I created that video, I had wrote the biggest commission of my life. Still to this day, I haven't written a bigger commission than that. And I'd created a video that I'd made no money from. But all I did was just market it on the internet, and obviously it went viral.
Right.
I realized at that moment that I got such a bigger kick out of this video than the commission that I made.
Wow.
And I still remember this moment vividly. I was literally standing in the backyard and I was like, shit, like, this is weird. If I'm feeling like this, something's going on here. So I was always heading down the path of doing that, and then why I was also like doing, like, building this marketing thing was because I was like, well, if I want to open up an ice cream shop, and if I just want to one day say, hey, I want to do an ice cream shop, I could literally, with my marketing team, build this ice cream shop.
Yeah.
Just by running ads to it, designing the logos, designing everything, getting people in. So that was my whole concept. And then obviously I came across NFTs and I loved NFTs. It blew up from there, and I was like, I have to do this because it's just I'd be one of the first NFT agencies in the world, and everything's up for grabs. And that was the reason. Styled by Collings. The reason why I did that was I felt like it was a no-brainer. You know, as a real estate agent, you give the styled work to somebody. It's very easy. They go in, they put the furniture in, and it's turnover. There's no hassles. Barely. Okay, you might have an issue. You know, I remember it's normal, but there's no like vendor. The vendor might get upset if they don't like the furniture, but really
they're not gonna be
correct.
No,
like they don't care. Like, and even with buyers, you don't deal with anybody. It's very easy. You put the furniture in, you wait till it's you get it's a decent fee, and you move on. So that was the reason for that. It just works hand in hand with real estate. I'm actually doing mining as well, so I mine crypto. So I've set up my own crypto miners, and we mine Dogecoin. The reason why I have decided to do this is because it's the first job. It's the first like job or first industry that I know that I can have miners, robots as workers that are working 24/7 mining crypto, making me money. Like, think about, like, with employees, there's no, there's sick days. They have fights with their partners. They're not feeling well today.
Their mood is off.
Christian, I don't think real estate's for me anymore. Annual leave, holidays, all this drama. Do you know what the robots tell me?
Where's more work?
We need to go harder. We didn't win this round, Christian. It's Christmas. They don't know Christmas. They keep going. So that's the reason why I've done that. It's still very early. Like, we're still extremely early in that process. Whether it's extremely profitable here in Melbourne, I'm not sure. I might have to take it interstate or overseas or something like that. But it's something that I'm working on because I think it's fun. Like, it's cool.
And being able to leverage that as well.
Leveraging
robots to make them, it's pretty cool, man. I think that's where just the future in general is going to go. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of jobs get taken over by robots, which is a good thing and a bad thing, I guess, depending on who you ask. I see it as a good thing because it's just accelerating the growth and the development of the world. Much,
in the next couple of years, there's robots that are coming out, either Tesla bots or other companies, and they're going to be hired. And these robots are going to take over cleaners. They're going to take over like standard tradies, like what's that grunt work, like labourers,
work,
stuff like that. A lot of these jobs are going to disappear because robots. They'll work 24/7. They're much cheaper. They'll probably cost, I don't know, 10 grand, 20 grand.
It's a big upfront cost, I guess.
Correct.
But over the long term,
yes, it's much cheaper. So we're going to see a lot of that. So interesting times.
It is, man. And one thing, I have so many questions after.
Go hard.
But one thing that I want to touch on was your style by Collings, which is really interesting how you were able to leverage that with your current real estate. How were you able to start that? Can we go into a bit of a background around how you started that? Obviously, you saw a bit of a gap in the market there, I'm sure. You also saw it as leverage, being able to
100%
utilize your real estate company as well. But how were you able to start that from the ground up, the logistics around it and everything like that?
Well, so it's actually been on my mind for like a year, 2 years, and it was literally probably 3, 4, 5 months ago. I can't remember exactly. I was in bed. It was a Sunday night, and Caleb from my office, he just randomly messaged me. He's like, "Do you want to do styling?" And I'm like, "Man, I've had this on my list. Like, I've always wanted to do it. It's a bit of a no-brainer. Let's do it." So him, myself, and my partner Nicole were like, "Let's go together." Now, I saw a few not issues, but a few gaps that I thought we could penetrate. Now, number one is no styling company actually markets themselves well online.
Right.
Absolutely none of them.
Yep.
They literally just go to the agents, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And I've got some funny things that I'm going to be pulling, like targeting ads for real estate and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
We're going to have some fun. But for now, whatever, we're just chilling. But so the way I saw it was like, this is a big gap that I believe that we can close. In regards to the logistics and stuff like that, it's not too hard. I feel like, you know, it's one of those things. We did a fair few of them ourselves.
Right.
So we were carrying the furniture for the first few. Yep. Really, I just wanted to understand yes. everything, understand a good pattern. But you know, we found a good team of removalists to work with.
Yep.
And yeah, we get the work ourselves. So pretty much
handball it onto your own.
Correct. Yeah. And then we've just started getting real estate agents on board.
Okay.
Still, we haven't gone too hard on it because we just want to make sure everything's perfect. At the end of the day, it's a service.
Yeah.
And you know, we don't want to screw anything up, and we do get a decent amount of work through ourselves. So like it was just like we'll take it slow, but we've got some funny things planned.
Nice.
You'll be seeing me pop up on social
Facebook,
media.
Instagram, all the ads.
I'll be targeting you. I'll be targeting everyone. So we fun.
Real estate, one search, targeted back.
Yeah.
25 a day. I see Collings.
You're just gonna see me popping up. I was like, get out of here.
Are you gonna use the GIFs, aren't you? Is that gonna be one thing?
Well, the GIFs are already in action. Man, though, you gotta see these views like that we get through these GIFs, man. Millions.
Wow.
It's crazy. All around the world, people
That's on the
using
GIF actual website.
Yeah, the GIF actual website. Yeah, but some of the just funny things. Like I think I'm funny. I think I'm funny person.
Yeah,
so,
man.
And
leverage it.
I'm not afraid to just jump in and just have a laugh. So
give it a shot.
Yeah. So hopefully you find it funny.
Yeah. No, I love them, bro. I love how they it's just a great branding strategy as well.
Yeah, man.
I'd say like it's good for use as well. Like a lot of people, I'm sure, use it around the world. But it's just like getting yourself out there. It's
yeah, 100%.
And so thanks for sharing that. That's interesting because we're thinking of maybe doing something similar. We can talk about it later.
Yeah.
But one thing that I also want to chat about is how you have a future-orientated mindset. You know, like I was saying before, how you're able to develop that with time. You know, I'm sure because at the start you were in real estate, you didn't like it so much, and then you really went double down on it. But do you have that mindset back then, where it's like future-minded?
Well, it's weird because up until probably about 2017, I'd say no. I think I was just flowing and just moving and grooving and just going with it. It's funny, like I was probably one of the first real estate agents in Australia to really go hard on social media.
Yeah.
And even I feel like I missed the boat. So in that sense, the way I saw things was like, okay, I'm not gonna miss this boat going forward. So even like, for example, I always want to be ahead and always want, if anything new is coming out, I kind of want to just play with it.
Yeah.
I was one of the first on TikTok.
Yeah.
Literally one of the first. I didn't make use of it.
Yeah.
So that to me was a bit of a learning lesson. Like, okay, I was first, but I didn't use it to my advantage.
Yeah.
So everything that's going forward, I want to be first. I want to play with it.
Yes.
And I want to be in there. So if I feel like the market is starting to come to this platform or come to this area, then I want to be going hard on it and getting myself at it. Yeah. So I think it's just looking and trying to understand. It's funny. Like I come up with a lot of crazy theories, but most of the time the crazy theories are the ones that are literally going to come true. Yeah, literally going to happen.
Who would have thought that 10 years ago, however long it was, that taxis would get out of business?
Correct.
You know?
Yeah, correct.
Uber just went in there and totally monopolied that industry.
Correct.
Incredible.
Yeah, and it's literally, we're going to see this over the next 10 years, pretty much every industry being disrupted, whether it's NFTs or technology or whatever it is. There's a lot that's going to, robots, artificial intelligence, there's so much that's about to change. People just, obviously, they're not going to see it coming.
Yep.
And
most people won't.
Yeah.
And most people are too comfortable.
Correct.
You know? And the whole reason why I started this podcast and rebranded it, it's been a while, but I love change. Not a lot of people do. A lot of people love being comfortable. So that's why I love interviewing people that are successful, that have changed in life. You know what I mean? And like in the biggest things, even in the smallest things, you know, someone's career, you know, they're not willing to change even if they don't like it. You know, they're willing to keep going in that motion. You know what I mean?
Well, even a really good example of this was like real estate. Now,
Yes.
I remember, and it's probably still the case. I think it's changed a little bit because of COVID, but when I was first jumping around on social media and things like that, I was telling you got to do social media. Nah, we don't want to do social. We'll stick to our cold calls, our letter drops, our, all this stuff, which is fine. Like, I'm not saying don't do it.
Yeah.
But what's funny is I run ads and I hit 50,000 people in a week, for example, where how long will it take you to do 50,000 letter drops?
About a year.
Yeah, 50,000 calls. How long would that take you? So it's funny that, and people demonize what's happening because they're like, oh, well, I made money over the last 10 years doing it this way.
That's the old way.
Correct. So why do I need to change it? But it's like, yes, but the world's changing.
Yeah.
So people don't adapt. Or what they'll do is, like they'll say, okay, we tried social media, but it didn't work.
They didn't actually try.
Well, they hired their nephew that had no fucking idea about what they were doing. They spent $100. They didn't get a return because real estate agents are all about a return.
Straight away.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're looking like, okay, so for example, we make 100 calls. Did we get anything out of it? They're like, okay, we spent $100. Did we get anything out of it?
Yeah.
But what they're not realizing is it's about building brand. Like building brand is the key. Like look at Nike. Yeah. What does a Nike salesman knock on your door and be like, hey man, like do you want to buy these shoes? Or do you just like, oh, like I know that tick, that's why I buy it.
Yeah.
So that's where people don't really they don't really understand branding on that way. So I think real estate agents, we've always been known to just sell.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm also saying that branding is massive.
Marketing.
It's everything. So
I don't think real estate agents are able to tell the difference between what a sale is and what marketing is.
No, correct. They can't.
Selling and marketing, especially on social media.
Correct.
You see all the time, and I'm no expert, but I'm just looking from what I've done before and talking to people like yourself, like they all sell on social media.
Yeah.
Where social media is supposed to build relationships.
Correct.
Supposed to build trust.
Correct.
Not many people really care about the properties you're selling.
No one cares.
No, I don't think anyone cares.
Like no one cares. Like how many properties can you put up? They all look the same to people.
Yeah.
They look the
property,
same.
cool, he's doing well.
Yeah, and I'm not saying don't put your results up there, but put your results up there in a very different way.
Yes.
Like put it out there. Do a nice do a market cap or market wrap. Sorry.
Yeah.
Provide value. Just provide value. Like when the way I like to do social media is. I think, as I said, I think I'm funny. I think I've got something to give. So I'm always just trying to be funny, but I'm also trying to give back to the people because I know if I give back to the people, they're going to give back to me anyway. I know I'm happy. A lot of people always expect something from somebody.
Yes.
Just put it out there. It'll come back.
It'll come back.
It might not come back today. Might not come back in 5 years. Might take 10 years. It'll come back.
It'll come back.
So it always does.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, man. I know a lot of real estate agents will listen to this as well because they look up to Christian, but like...
They look up to you, not me.
Nah, I'm still new, man. I'm learning. But like that's one thing that any industry can take into account. Just like being able to provide as much value to the consumer as possible. That's one thing I've learned from you. That's one thing I'm trying to implement with this podcast as well. Like getting that out there.
100%.
So
this is amazing what you're doing because someone's gonna watch this. Someone's gonna be like, oh my god, like I got so much value out of that. So now they're like, yes, legend. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So and they'll hang around.
Builds trust.
Correct.
Builds loyalty over time.
100%. It's the same concept.
Yeah. Where do you see the real estate industry moving forward down the line?
We've talked about this.
We have talked about it.
Okay.
And you don't have to go all in depth if you don't want to.
No, that's fine. I'm happy. I believe rent rolls within the next 5 to 10 years are probably not going to be worth what they're worth now. I believe the industry is about to get Ubered. I believe exactly what happened with the taxis is going to happen to real estate rent rolls. Why do I say that? Artificial intelligence. Now, right at this moment in time, property managers, they are so hard. They are so hard to come by. Good ones.
Yes.
Everyone's leaving the industry. The government has put on all these new laws and regulations that are coming in.
No one can keep up.
No one can keep up. Nobody wants to do it. Tenants, it's just become so much harder. There's so much more work that has to come with it, and it's just too much stress for what they get paid. So artificial intelligence is going to come in and save that. Now, we're already seeing tech companies come out, very still early days, but they've come out with some programs that make it easier. They're much cheaper.
Yep.
Their fees are so much cheaper than traditional agents.
Yep.
So I can see that over the next 5 to 10 years evolving, and I think the real estate industry is about to get Ubered. Realestate.com is playing a big role in that with Ignite.
Yep.
So owners can now go through realestate.com and actually list their own property, and they have a portal. Even if you have a look at what Ignite is building, now you use Ignite.
Yes.
It's like a sales CRM for agents.
Yep.
So they're literally building all this new technology to help the agents out.
Yes.
What that is kind of doing, it's kind of cutting out agencies. Like really, if they build this system where it's amazing, they could literally turn around and be like, you know what? We're going to become the agents now.
Mm-hmm.
They've set up, like for example, with leasing, they do all the reference checks, everything automatically.
Yeah.
If they build all these systems, they've got all the data, they've got everything.
Yes, they do.
So if they switched it on, they could literally destroy the industry. I don't think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be hard to navigate that because then you're going to have a lot of agents turning on them. So they will lose a lot of their business. Yep. But I don't know. It's going to be very interesting times in that aspect. So I think rentals, obviously, as discussed, it's going to be very interesting because there's a lot of technology to combat that. And then sales-wise as well, realestate.com, they're building a lot around that. They'll tell you they're not.
Yes.
But
you don't know what they're doing.
Correct. No, well, I don't really listen to what people say. I watch what they do.
Right.
And what they're doing is different to what they're saying. So again,
Yes.
a conspiracy theory, but we'll see how that all plays out. I believe every single property is going to be sold as an NFT. So 97% of properties are going to be transacted via smart contracts on the blockchain. Now, there's a few reasons why I say this. The first reason why is you're a developer. You develop 10 apartments. Now, you sell your property on the blockchain, you're the creator. So you're technically the person you're the developer, you're the creator. So you add into your smart contract that a royalty that every time this contract changes hands after you've sold them for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years in perpetuity, you're going to be getting a 2% royalty every time it swaps over.
Wow.
Because, you're the creator. Another reason, a lot of bank fees, a lot of dumb bank fees that are involved in this. That will get cut out, and it's going to be decentralized finance that's going to handle everything. Mm-hmm. There are probably going to be other fees that come in, so they might get replaced with other fees, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Lawyers, I don't know how this is going. I think there's going to be smart contract lawyers. So you're still going to have lawyers looking over the smart contract. Yeah. So I don't think you'll really cut them out, but them actually preparing the contract.
Not anymore.
Yeah, it'll be via a smart contract lawyer.
Yeah.
So I don't really know the specifics. I think we're still early off. I still think we're 10 years away.
Yeah, we still are.
There was the first property that sold as an NFT in America this week.
Wow.
And I think that was kind of rigged. There was one bid.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think
They just got it.
Yeah.
Let's make a record.
Yeah, correct. I think it was just the owners, the people that run the company did that. So I still think we're extremely early, but I do see a lot of changes coming. We're a very old industry and we're about to get disrupted pretty hard.
That's some big shit right there.
All conspiracy.
It is all conspiracy. We're not insiders.
Yeah.
But
it'll be good to watch this back in 10 years.
Oh, I know. Yeah. That's why I love documenting, man. Just looking back, I predicted this shit. Mm-hmm. But that is massive because you look at patterns in the past. Taxis, they were the monopolies. You know, they thought they had everything. They thought they had everything worked out. Then someone like Uber comes along, and they smash them.
I'll give you the real estate pattern. Domain was the newspaper. They were the leaders. The internet came in, realestate.com took them out. Now realestate.com, the leaders, Web3. Someone's going to win Web3. realestate.com is a $15 billion industry, but if they don't adapt or whatever, there's going to be a company that's going to come in and take over Web3.
Wow.
Which will be interesting. So my prediction is it's not going to be realestate.com, but I don't know. They're the leaders by a country mile, and there is no one that's even close to them at the moment.
Not even Domain's close to them.
No one at all. No. So it's going to be a company that's getting built now. It's probably just been built. It's probably not even built. It's probably still a couple of years away. But we'll see.
Bloody hell, that's interesting, guys. So how do you think a company that's in Web3, obviously because that's the next generation, right? And it probably will happen. because it's bound to happen. Like just say MySpace, for instance, Facebook came along and they smashed them. You know,
Yahoo, Google came in and
smashed them. Yeah. Exactly right. So, what do you think, though, the characteristic of that company has to be?
It has to be a Web3 company. Like, it has to be obviously running on the blockchain. I think they need to provide a lot more value to the agents, but it's a weird sense. Like, I sit here and think that maybe in a sense 90% of real estate agents will go. I think the top people will go, but I think 90% of them can be replaced with artificial intelligence robots, or it's hard. I actually don't really want to comment on that because I don't know yet. I haven't worked it out. It's way too far, so I don't actually want to comment on that.
No, I'm just interested to see where your head's at. That's all.
Yeah.
No, that's very interesting. There's a lot that's happening, and that's why I love speaking to you. You know, because you bring those new insights into it, where most people in any industry are just so set by their own ways. They're not willing to change.
Pretty much.
They're not willing to adapt.
Pretty much.
That's what's happened with social media and personal brand. So that's my next question: is like, where do you see personal brands going? Not only just in real estate, but in general. And how do people listening to this potentially take advantage of it and start to adapt?
Personal brand is everything. Like, I look at, let's use the standard real estate agent. The biggest real estate agents in the suburb, they're local celebrities. And I realized this. I remember it was about 2017, I'll never forget this. I was walking on Station Street in Fairfield, and there was a father and a young kid who was 6 at the time. The father would obviously be in his 30s, 40s, whatever it was, yeah? There was a nice car, a Mercedes, that drove past, and a real estate agent was driving. And the dad looked at his kid and said, "Hey, son, look at that car. That's so-and-so from so-and-so."
Wow.
And I, in my head, was like, local celebrity, bang. Like, straight away. And then it took me back. Letter drops, cold calls, door knocks, all this stuff that agents do, which is personal branding. So when you list property, they're not going to you. No, they're not going to. Well, the brand does help. I'm not going to say they're not. But a lot of the time, you're listing it because they like you.
Yes.
And that is personal brand. So I think, like, people need to go harder on it. They're not going hard enough on social media. They're not putting themselves out there enough. I think if they are kind of putting themselves out there, they're not doing it right, so then that's why they stop. So I think they've got to, like, doing a podcast is amazing for a personal brand. Doing a video and just talking to people, jumping in front of the camera, it's not for everybody. But jumping in front of the camera is a game changer. I remember the first time I did it, the amount of people that used to just respond to me rather than just a normal snap or whatever it is. Yeah, so I think, like, and maybe that's not for you. Maybe written form's better. Maybe you like writing, where you write blogs and put yourself out there.
Still value.
Correct. I think you've just got to provide as much value as you can to the consumer, and over time, the people come. Most of my business comes from just social media. Putting myself out there and just communicating with people, interacting. You know, a big thing is I like to talk to everybody. There's not, if somebody reaches out, of course I'm going to talk to them. You know, I want to meet as many people as I can. So just putting yourself out there and just doing what you can, I guess.
Your network is your net worth.
Correct, 100%.
That's what I think, you know, and that's, everyone knows that. But no one takes action on it, I think.
Correct.
You know? And even our director, Nazi, like he always says, try and meet as many people as you can.
Correct.
You know, meet as many people as you can, get yourself out there. And social media accelerates that, because you're constantly reminding people, okay, who are you, you know?
100%.
They're getting to know you, you're getting to know them, you're building relationships.
Correct.
So yeah, that's a very big step in the right direction, I'd say. This is a bit going off track, but going back to your companies that you built, why are you so passionate about building multiple companies? And it's probably an interesting question, and I look up to that as well. That's where I see myself in the future as well.
It's funny, I've never looked at myself as a real estate agent ever. I've always just been a guy that just wants to have fun, and I'm extremely passionate about building things. Like, I love, a lot of people, they want to build a few things and then they want to just, like, relax, which is fine, bloody oath, good on you. Like, you've done extremely well and that's fine. I'm a type of person, like, I need to keep adding more. I love being in the dirt, like, being in the ground. And with startups, that's what you are. You're in the dirt, you're in the ground, you're in the trenches. So I just love it. I enjoy myself. It's funny, when I interviewed Jim from Jim's group.
best interview.
Yeah, thank you. He was amazing. He provided so much value. It's funny, like after I jumped off the call with him, or even just during that call, and really just understanding and what he's about and what he was able to build, I wanted to do something similar. I thought it was amazing that Jim's the guy, Jim's everything, and I thought, you know what, like I'm not just passionate about real estate, I'm passionate about so many other things. I want to deep dive in there and I want to have fun. So I look at myself just as a person that just loves building businesses.
Yeah, and that's very commendable, man. I that's where I see myself in the future as well. I love the grind of it.
Yeah.
That's why I love real estate.
Yeah.
Because you start from the ground up.
Yeah.
You start from the dirt, bro.
You're in the trenches getting rejected left, right, and centre.
Every single day, getting told to the F off, all this shit. So
actually, another point on that, it's just a bit of value. Like, reach out to people that you look up to. Like, don't be afraid to message them on Instagram. I message people all the time.
Yeah.
Whether they respond to me or not,
doesn't matter.
Because some of them might not, but a lot of them will.
Yeah.
And from there, I get to meet them. I get to speak to them. So don't be afraid. Even if you see someone in person, on Saturday night, there was this person that I got on social media. I follow him. He was there. I went straight up to him. I just started talking to him.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, don't be scared. If someone's going to reject you, well, whatever.
It happens.
We get rejected all the time.
Oh, yeah. I've got iron skin right now. Man.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, people are surprisingly very nice. When people love helping people.
Yeah.
And I think it's a big misconception as well with like successful people that don't like helping. They love giving back. You know, all these successful people that I've spoken with, that I've had the privilege of interviewing as well, like, they're amazing people, man. And they, like, unfortunately, growing up with me and the way I was growing up, I was brought up in a great family, you know, my mum and everything. But just the misconceptions, the ideologies of successful people being cruel and being greedy and all this stuff. It's not until I started to step out on my own and build my own things and go on my own lane and understand the world for myself is when I realized they're the most amazing people ever. You know, it's like it's a total 360, and that's how you should think. You know, I feel like
100%, man.
You know?
100%. Like, it's, you know, there's a lot of misconceptions, or you'll listen to somebody's point of view on a situation because they might have a bad, you know, experience with it and stuff like that. But just put yourself out there and, you know, give it a go yourself and see how you perceive it. It could be completely different.
Exactly
so good on you, man. That's amazing.
Exactly right. That's how I see everything. I always tell the boys, whenever there's something going on, I always like to see the other side and other point of view. That's what Jay Shetty said. You know Jay Shetty?
Yes.
He said he grew up in school where he had debating classes. He was a debater, and the teacher always said, do not do a debate without understanding the other side first. Do not debate anything without understanding the other side first.
That's actually a really good point.
And that's how I see everything now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You know, I don't make an opinion based on what someone else is telling me.
No wonder you listen to all my crazy theories.
100%, man. The hell? I'm the most open-minded person ever.
Good on you. That's amazing.
So, like, I don't make an opinion on something based on someone else telling me without first understanding the other side of things. You know, and that's something that, unfortunately, school was a great example. You know, school rumors go around.
Yeah.
And it's toxic because, like, someone's whole mental and whole life can be ruined off that shit, you know?
Yeah, man.
And then they don't understand also, like, where they're coming from, all this shit. So that's what I've learned early on, and that's
amazing.
A good characteristic, you know, to have. What do you think, again, a bit sidetracked, what do you think are the massive factors for yourself that have gotten you to become successful to where you are today? What do you think?
I wouldn't say I'm successful. I think I'm only 1% in my journey, but...
You're very early on, but still...
it's humbling, thank you. Honestly, I don't really care what people think. Like, I generally do... I think, and that's probably massive about me, I think I've got the thickest skin. I'm in my own lane. I don't worry about what's going on. I don't really care what other people are doing. Yeah. I just want to do what I'm doing, and I want to just focus on myself.
That's so.
And I can't veer. Like, I don't really, like, all right, I'll look left and right, but I'll be back straight, and I'm not going right, and I'm not staying there. I'm staying in my lane. So that not really caring what people think. I know people bag me all the time online, and I can understand. I just pop up. some random bloke screaming at you. I'm like, I don't blame you. Well, who's this guy? You know what I mean? So, I understand, I put myself in other people's shoes.
Yes.
And like, I always try to think, okay, how are they perceiving me? So that's fine. I'm extremely thick-skinned with that. And just consistency, man. Like every day I'm swinging. Yep. Like every day. Like there's not a day that I'm not swinging. That I'm not trying to win the day. We all have bad days. But you know what I'm always telling myself when it's a bad day? I use like a soccer analogy. It's where we're on the road, we're versing Liverpool, we're Stoke City, we're copping 20 shots, like we're copping it. We just need to hold. We need a draw. We need a draw, or we need a tin ass, and we just need to score. We need a win. Yeah. Like, win the day. Win the day. And even if it's the worst day, I would just be like, it could be 4 o'clock, and I'll be like, Christian, you got a couple hours, just do it. Just smash it. And then I'll go home, and I'll go straight to bed. I want to just end the day. I want to try and end it, and I don't want to know about this day anymore. Yeah. And I want to go again. So I don't dwell. Whatever. I wake up the next day. It's funny. Sometimes it's funny. This is just an extreme example. But I'll have a fight with my partner, for example, and then I'll go to bed. And then the next day I'll wake up and I'm sweet. I'm hugging her like I love you. She's like still kind of mad. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, we had a fight. I forgot about that. So like I don't care. I don't dwell when I just move, man. Yeah. Always just trying to move forward.
That's some good characteristics, man. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's all the questions I wanted.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's also so much more, but you know, I don't want to keep everyone waiting. I don't want to keep you waiting. I value your time.
You're a legend.
What's the last things that you can? Where can everyone find you? To let everyone know.
Christian Gravias, pretty much Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you want. TikTok. I don't know. I'm pretty much every platform, so you'll find me there. But yeah, I think everybody should just be happy. Just enjoy what they do. If you're not enjoying what you do, don't be afraid to change your direction and just go hard. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, man. Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one.